Hi, everybody. I'm Beth Whittle at the State Department. I just wanted to do this presentation really quick for you so you would know about Project Aware and some of the awesome things that it's going to do for you in your district. So first of all, congratulations on being selected to be a Project Aware district. There are all sorts of awesome things in place for you guys. So like I said, I'm Beth Whittle. I'm the coordinator for Project Aware at the State Department. And let's just get going. Okay, so Project Aware is a grant that was given to the Oklahoma State Department of Ed from SAMHSA. It's an $8,996,212 grant over 5 years. And this grant is going to support Weatherford, Woodward, and Elk City schools. You'll see me mention throughout this presentation LEA, and that stands for Licensed Educational Agency. That's you guys. That's your districts. It's just shorthand for that. So students and faculty will all benefit from this grant in multiple ways, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the ways that you're going to be able to benefit from this grant. One of the focuses at the State Department for this grant is sustainability. We want the supports put in place in your districts and communities to continue to support you after the 5-year funding period. So we're really focused on sustainability. We want to change the culture in your classrooms and the culture in your communities to really support students in their mental health needs. So why did we pick your districts? The clinician to population ratio in the majority of Oklahoma is 30,000 people to one clinician. In Western Oklahoma, that ratio is 150,000 people to one licensed mental health professional. So as you can see, it's a lot harder out in Western Oklahoma to link kids with the resources that they need. And I'm sure you're seeing the results of that in some of your classrooms. There are 108 mental health agencies in the entire state, and only 5 serve Western Oklahoma. There's also some stigma regarding mental health and seeking services, not just in Western Oklahoma, but most everywhere in Oklahoma. So one of the targets of this grant is to reduce that stigma. Okay, lots of text on this slide, so I'll leave it up just for a second, but I bolded the goals and objectives of the grant that are more applicable to you as classroom teachers and your schools. So goal 1.4 of the grant is to increase the number of organizations that have entered into a formal written agreement with your school districts to improve mental health practices and activities from the current number to 12. So we're trying to find 5 more agencies that will contract with the schools to provide services to your students. School discipline referrals will reduce 15% per year as measured by baseline data collected this school year. School suspensions and expulsions will reduce 15% per year as measured by baseline data collected in the first year. So we're really looking to target students who have mental health issues and behavioral issues and really match them with interventions that work for them. And you'll see the results of that in your classroom. The last goal that I thought was really important for you, 75% of students receiving Tier 2 interventions will demonstrate a positive response to that intervention within 1 year of receiving intervention services that have been tied to their specific needs. And I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about Tier 2 interventions here in a second. So what's in it for you? PBIS and multi-tiered systems of support training for all of your staff. These trainings, we've brought in a national expert to train your sites on how to do a multi-tiered system of support within your schools. And what an MTSS does is it really looks at the whole child and it breaks down intervention services that are tailor-made to your students. So, and I'll just do a quick overview. Tier 1 are going to be interventions that reach every student. So it's more prevention type stuff. Tier 2 are targeted interventions for a select group of kids. And then Tier 3 interventions are interventions for that one student that you just don't know what to do with. So they're more specialized, more wraparound services that bring in professionals from all sorts of different areas. And you'll have an opportunity to be on a mental health intervention team that helps plan those Tier 3 services if it's something that's important to you. mental health first aid training for faculty, and that will really help just reduce the stigma around mental health issues and seeking services, and it will also help you feel better prepared in dealing with a student if they're in crisis. Again, decrease in discipline and classroom behaviors, trauma-informed discipline practices within your schools. You'll have healthier and happier students, and increased supports for your students, all of your students, even the ones that don't have insurance. One of the awesome things about this grant is an insurance campaign. So we'll be linking students to services that need them regardless as to their ability to pay. So multi-tiered systems of support for your classroom. Again, I just touched on this, but I'll show you this slide as well. For first grade classrooms, we've built in the good behavior game. By reinforcing desirable behaviors and inhibiting unwanted behaviors, children will develop an agency and command to delay gratification and reduce impulsivity. So that is a curriculum that we will put in place in all first grade classrooms. We will all get prevention curriculum that will be decided upon by your admin for what best meets your school needs. So tier 2, we're going to be providing training on how to implement an MTSS within your schools. And we've also added an additional licensed mental health professional to your districts and a community manager. I have their contact information at the end of this slide, and you might have met them already, but your counseling staff, your additional counselor is going to really focus on those tier 2 and tier 3 students that need additional supports beyond what they're already getting within your classrooms and with their school counselors. And then your community manager is going to be working with your communities to do parent nights and wellness campaigns and really just get the community amped up around how we can better support students in your areas. And then to support that pocket of students that just really need the extra support, we are partnering with Project ECHO. So if you have a student that is just really struggling, we can collaborate with Project ECHO and get a school psych, a pediatrician, a child psychiatrist, a psychologist, your administrators, your school counselors, your counseling staff, and community manager all together to really talk about what supports to put in place for this student, and then we'll monitor those supports and tweak them as needed till we see that student functioning at higher levels. And the mental health intervention teams will be a big part of that. So each site is going to have mental health intervention teams, and how that looks is really up to your site admin. But ideally, we would like to see 3 to 4 teachers, 1 SPED teacher included in that, admin, school counselors, your school psych, and both of your AWARE contracted individuals, so your community manager and your AWARE licensed mental health professional. And these mental health intervention teams will meet and have staffings regarding students that really need additional supports and collaborate with Project ECHO for those students. If you're interested in being in your mental health intervention team for your site, let your site admin know. And as we start rolling out trainings on the multi-tiered systems of support, it'll be good to already have these mental health intervention teams in place. So if mental health wellness really speaks to your heart, then you'll want to be a part of this. Okay, so community and school involvement components of the grant. Your community manager and your AWARE licensed counselor will be putting on parent nights, and those can really look like whatever you think is best for your students. Not a lot of parents want to come to a parent night after they've worked all day and watch PowerPoint. So we're really open to making them fun and creative and helping the whole child if they want to do one on nutrition, if they want to do a paint and palette and also talk about healthy coping strategies. There's money in the grant to help purchase those supplies and really support you guys in helping make the parent nights fun. So if you have any ideas regarding what you think a fun parent night would be, I'm sure your community managers would be really happy to hear that. So our wellness campaigns, that's really just bringing mental health awareness to your communities. And again, those can look like whatever your district thinks is best for your communities. And then insurance campaigns, like I mentioned earlier, the insurance campaigns are really going to help us get every student linked to insurance that we can and support the students who don't have access to Sooner Care or Medicaid. There's also a mental health awareness social media campaign as a part of this grant, and that will be run through the State Department of Ed. We'll be sharing links and blogs with the hashtag OKAware that not only you guys can use within your classrooms to help promote mental health awareness and wellness, but that other districts outside of these 3 LEAs can use as well. So if you're using something in your classroom that you think is awesome, that you've heard about as a resource or something like that, then share it with your community managers so we can put it on our mental health awareness campaign so other districts can benefit from it too. Each district will also be developing a community resource website. And so that'll just be a one-stop shop for people in your community to go and be able to find what they need. And your community managers will be working on that. There will also be AWARE advisory boards, and those are going to be run by your AWARE counselor and your AWARE staff LPC. And they'll consist of teachers, community members, parents, students, to really talk about the goals of the AWARE grant, how they can best be implemented within your communities, how the community can help you, and how you can also help the goals of the AWARE grant. So if you wanted to be a part of the AWARE advisory board, let your community manager or AWARE licensed counselor know. So as far as increasing the mental health workforce, one of the really exciting things about this grant is it's paying for existing school counselors to go back to school and get their additional hours to complete their LPC. And this will add additional licensed mental health professionals to your communities and thus increase the amounts of students that have access to services. The Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services is also going to be working within your communities to increase agencies that will contract with you to see students. So if you have any questions, this is my contact information. I'm Beth Whittle again, and I am the AWARE coordinator at the State Department of Education. And Laura Jacobs is your Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse contact. She will be the person you'll contact if you have any questions about Project AWARE in your communities. And then this is the information for your AWARE staff. So your additional licensed counselor and also your community managers are listed here. If you need anything, reach out to them, reach out to me. We're here to support you. We're really excited about this grant and the processes that it will put in place for your schools and how it's really going to help serve students and make sure they're all learning at high levels.